Hello and welcome to ZAPY Speaking. I'm Aaron, that's Young Fun. Today we're going to be looking at two late night comedy hosts and pitting them against each other in what I'm going to call a speaker battle. We'll be comparing Stephen Colbert and Trevor Noah. They're going to be talking about the face mask war, the mask war, whatever it's called, who cares? But I need to know from Young Fun, how are we scoring them tonight?
We're scoring from three pillars of public speaking. They are content, organization, and delivery. All of them together make a delicious cod method. So like my background is fish, the cod from the ocean, and that's our scoring system tonight. So from here, I will take you into our video. We play a small part of the clip, and when you listen to it, you pay attention to how these two speakers do with these three methods. The first one up is Colbert. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Your human farmers don't want you to stop breathing. That's just bad farming. Second of all, if there were human farmers, they wouldn't make us wear masks. They'd feed us fatty foods and high fructose corn syrup and encourage us to stay sedentary so we're well marbled and oh my God, we're being farmed. Netflix is a cookbook. Salt, fat, acid, hate.
All right. First of all, one thing I notice here, he does a great job with his build up to insanity. When Colbert is moving up towards his declaration that I believe he said Netflix is a cookbook, whatever that means, he's slowly talking faster, he's slowly building up the energy. So at first he's got this slow speaking, almost condescending, because he's saying, we're not being farmed. And then you slowly see the panic dawn as he realizes we are being farmed. Apparently we're being marbled. I think that's what he said. I'm not an expert on what that means. I think it has to do with the amount of fat and muscles. Who cares? He's building up an energy, and he even brought his arm and his head higher to show, oh, we're going crazy. So that was an excellent use from his part of getting a louder voice, picking up speed, and even changing the posture, facial expressions to match the insanity that he's moving towards. Now, this is only tangentially related to the mask war, insofar as he's talking about that they aren't making us wear masks because we're being farmed. They is a very mysterious term. But he does a great job of building up to that ultimate insane moment. So he does a fantastic job of that, and it's something I think everyone should aim to do. If you're looking to make something seem crazy or intense, you talk faster, you talk louder, you change your facial expression, you make yourself sit differently, you get your hand in the air or hands in the air, and it builds a craziness to it. So I thought that was an interesting way of, with an absurd style, of getting a point across.
Yeah, so everyone end up in common on the delivery style. I want to touch on a bit of content here. So he used this outrage claim of we human being farmed, and then he reached this ridiculous conclusion that, oh, we are perhaps being farmed. By the way, the word marble means the fat tissue going through the muscle, so it looks like the marble of the rock. So we use that for steak quite a lot. So that's it, to fatten the animal up and eat it. So then it seems like we are being farmed because we sit all day watching TV and then we grow fat into our muscle. So that's very interesting compared human life as being farmed. That's ridiculous. I believe it's not true, but then it keeps the information in your head. You link this together. So that is a very interesting content, I would say. So next up, I will move to the next speaker. That will be Trevor. So what will happen here is I will play a few seconds of what Trevor says about the same content of the mask war, a very different style. Let's pay attention to this.
I'll be honest, I get where this woman is coming from. Wearing a mask can make it a little harder to breathe. But you know what can make it a lot harder to breathe? Coronavirus. Like, I think some people might be missing the point of the mask. It's not about conforming, it's about safety. Can you imagine?
Okay, so that's the short clip from Trevor. A very different style.
he has two things that really work for him in terms of delivery: his eyes and his hands. So he's being really good about doing something that so many people forget with cameras. He's getting his hands into the frame of the camera. What we often see with speakers on camera is stuff like this, where their hands appear for a second and you'll see the tips of their fingers just sneak in a very wizardy, vague way. When what we really want is to get our hands up and visible, so we gesture with them. I think Trevor Noah does an excellent job of that. He also speaks a lot with his eyes. You'll notice that when he delivers his jokes, his eyes go wide, especially when he said that line, you know what else makes it hard to breathe? His eyes are wide. Coronavirus. Or when he was talking about something suspicious, his eyebrows went down a lot. So he had very expressive eyes and very expressive hands, and that helps him to deliver the message. He is much more serious than Colbert. I talked about Colbert's style as being absurd, or I said he was absurd, and Trevor Noah is not absurd at all. It's more ironic or dry, a very dry sense of humor where he's delivering the information very dry with, he's not cracking a smile, he's not going crazy, he's being very direct with us. And he's still evoking a humor reaction, making us laugh, but he's doing it from a much drier perspective. So we have these two contrasting styles, essentially opposites, that are both delivered quite well. But which is more effective is an interesting question.
Yeah, so that is true. Before we go to our last question to show out our score and what's more effective, I want to push on a bit of how Trevor Noah can make a serious speech and topic interesting. And that's weird, right? People will turn away from serious talk because it's boring, it's too heavy. So what did he do well? I think it comes down to one thing everyone touched on is the eyebrows and the eye reaction. He acts as this argument is ridiculous, it's unnecessary. We debate about should we wear a mask or not, as if are we going to conform to the system or not? Are we an individual and we are fighting against system? No, it's not that. It's just too much. Take all those away. Do you want to live or do you want to be safe? If the answer are yes and yes, well, you have your answer. I think that's his underlying reason going there. So he's serious, but he makes things ridiculous that, it's still funny. It's okay, yeah, we're being a bit stupid here, arguing this point. So then we are saving our main course here, which is our card. So what we're gonna do here is both Aaron and I will give a score of content, organization, delivery to each of our late night hosts and see which one come up on the top. Do you want to have the first card today to our card?
I'll take the first fillet, if you will. It's tough. I'll start with Colbert because we did his video first. His content, see, the trouble with absurd is content can be really hard to parse out sometimes. So when we take it in the greater context of the video, I'm going to give his content a 6.5.
Okay.
I think it's good. The joke, in a sense, is a bit of a tangent from the main concept. And I know he's giving that moment of comic relief to draw the audience back in, but I feel like there might be a better way to do it. In terms of organization, pretty effective. I think it was clear. He got to his point nicely by building up that energy. It did lead somewhere, so it was well organized. I'm going to give that an 8. And in terms of, so content was 6.5, organization 8, and then delivery, I think his delivery is actually quite good. That's an 8.5 to me. I really enjoyed his delivery because he does do that build-up. And you know what? I'm going to change that to an 8 because it got a little too absurd, a little too fake for me at times. I'm not a big fan of that fake humor, but at the same time, he did it really well. For Trevor Noah, content, I think, was actually quite effective. I was really impressed with his content in terms of the consistency of delivery. I'm going to give that an 8.5. 8.5 to that one. I'm going to be nice. In terms of organization, well organized. I don't think it led into the next point as nicely as Stephen Colbert's did, especially in this clip. So I'm going to give that a 7. I'm going to say 7. I've already forgotten what I gave to Stephen Colbert. I'm going to say 7. And in terms of his delivery, I thought it was pretty good. I'm actually going to give him an 8 as well. I feel like a bit more extremity would have been nice. He could have used a bit more of his face than just his eyes, but I'm gonna leave him there. Okay. Go ahead, Yangfan.
Okay, so here's just a quick summary to keep things on check. So Aaron gave Colbert 7.5 of these 3 chord method and gave Trevor 7.83. So now I'm going to give you score, see which one come on the top. Okay, so I will start with Colbert. The content is very funny and ridiculous. It's very creative. I like it. I will give a 7.5. The reason not going to any high is because it is a bit out there, but I give a high point for the creativities. The organization, I would say, is really, really well done. It has point 1, prepare, oh, it's ridiculous. And point 2 is like, oh, it reaches to a ridiculous conclusion. I love it. I will give 9. The delivery is amazing, especially in last part. He throw his arm in the air, oh, we are being fun. I just go all out, 9.5. Only thing he can do better is make his voice a bit more ridiculous, but his body language show it all. So yeah, I give way higher point to Colbert. Okay, Trevor here, the content is solid. Has a lot of dance information. So I would give 8.5, very good. Organization is simple, effective, and to the point. I really enjoy it. I give him 8.5 as well. Delivery, it's okay, it's serious. Because he's Trevor Noah, he has such amount of training, he can make a bit ridiculous to have those subtle tones. But he can be more sarcastic. He can do a bit more, push the envelope a bit for more. I give him a 7, so it's not too bad, not too good. So my score here is I give Steve Colbert 8.7 in the end. I give Trevor Noah 8. So my ranking is opposite from Aaron. So at the end, oh my God, the score is so close. So Colbert has a point of 8.08. And Trevor Noah have a point of 7.91.
That is close.
Very close. They are almost a tie. So I think that go back to our point at the beginning of the video. They have a different delivery system and style, but then it end up to be really effective. And it's up to the personal choice in the end. So I like Colbert ridiculous, creative a bit more. And Aaron is like serious and the subtlety more. And then we combine both. We have a very close tie. I think Aaron has something want to add. He's like, oh, it's very interesting.
Well, it is so, first thing I want to add is since I give lower scores in general, I've got to give higher scores to the guys I like more, give them a better chance. But also, the personal choice plays such a big role because I know people who would kill for Colbert here, or I know people who would hate Colbert and love Trevor Noah over it. So it is such a personal choice. I would argue they're probably roughly, as our scores point out, probably roughly equivalent in terms of delivery ability and their ability to speak. It's just, it depends who likes it more. If you get an absurdist or somebody who's a little more serious, that's what decides it.
Yeah. So hopefully in this video, we demonstrate you can be very effective at delivery. Doesn't matter what style you are in. Pick the one suits you the most. Master it, craft it, and make it better and better. And then the content can come across. So here is ZAPY Speaking. Until we see you next time.